128 players came to the Halo 39 in Hildesheim. 120 players have departed, leaving just 8 players left to battle it out for the title of Players' Championship event number 15. And before a dart was thrown, the question was posed: who could cash in this opportunity with 7 of the 8 Premier League players not in the lineup, and many of the top 16 players opting not to come to Hildesheim this week? Gian van Veen was one of the more prominent names amongst the selections, and with the darts that he's been producing today, victories over Nathan Rafferty, Stephen Burton, Darryl Pilgrim and Niels Zonneveld with eye-catching performances, most notably in the first round, averaging 107.41. He has put himself in a good position to follow up what he did in Players' Championship Event 6 when he picked up his first Pro Tour title. Abby Davies has come to join me here on board number 2 to watch this all-Dutch affair of the World Cup team this year.
Yes, indeed. Gian van Veen and Danny Noppert will be pairing up in Frankfurt next month. But very much enemies on the board here this afternoon. And Danny Noppert, well, the last 3 games he's played, it's been standard Noppy stuff, hasn't it? Mid-90s averages, solid, dependable. You know what you're going to get from Noppy. But the first round match, he really did put down a marker and average just shy of 107 and getting the better of Kevin Burness. He's taken care of Michael Smith and Callan Ridds in his last 2 games. 58. And he had the reigning world youth champion to the list of scalps to book himself a spot in the semi-final. Has won 5 of these Players' Championship events himself, of course, Noppert.
But it is interesting, isn't it, when you mention they're going to be playing together in the World Cup. They will be playing together due to the withdrawal of Michael van Gerwen. That means we get the Dutch number 2 and 3, Danny Noppert 2, Gian van Veen number 3. But the way things are going, Gian van Veen is closing that gap in on Danny Noppert, and we could see, with Gian van Veen not really defending much in the big TV events, we could see him getting into that World Cup team by rights come next year.
Absolutely.
58.
I think he'll be a top 16 player before long, Gian van Veen. Really do believe he's got that talent, but tops for Noppert.
32.
And he looked disgusted with that second dart, didn't he, Gian?
Game's up.
Player expects, isn't he, though, now, Van Veen? And rightly so, when you look at the career of which he has had so far.
60.
And it all seemed to be happening, didn't it, for him on sort of the youth side of the sport, the Youth World Championship, 9 development tours. And when it came to sort of seniors, adult PDC, main tour darts, it was always really close but not able quite to cross the line. A European Tour final, finals on the Pro
58.
Tour, 100+ averages, but wasn't able to convert that to a title. I think now he has. I think now we're going to see him when you get opportunities like this, where the field's a little bit depleted.
58.
15 tour card holders not in attendance. Gian van Veen does come to the forefront as, right, he's a guy who can and
58.
maybe should go on to pick up another title.
Yeah, you mentioned that Pro Tour or Players' Championship title being that first for him in senior darts, but my goodness, he pushed Michael van Gerwen close on the Euro Tour before that title came along. You'll feel that was such a wonderful
59.
opportunity. I remember seeing him in the back room afterwards, and he felt he had him in that final.
I think the way it happened for him as well, though, to beat a player like Luke Humphries in the final, I think was a big moment, because it's all right winning one, but you want to do it against one of those big marquee names, so no one can ask that question.
180.
Where they go, yes, you won that, but it was against a lower ranked opponent. No, he took on the world number 1.
Tops again for Noppy, the target.
86.
Again, he comes inside. Double 16 for Gian.
Game shot.
And he pins it to level up proceedings. But Gian, I'd say one of the most intelligent players on the circuit as well. Of course, when he was breaking through onto the main circuit, he was also studying away from the game. And he's someone who, when he lost that Eurotour final to Michael van Gerwen, you can just imagine he probably really analysed it in the best way possible and the best way to aid his development even further. But just to bring you up to speed with the other quarterfinals we've got here in Hildesheim, Dave Chisnell and Mike De Decker going head-to-head. They really have been two standout performers over the course of today. De Decker 1-0 up in that one. Ross Smith and Christopher Tyskie 1 apiece. And Dom Taylor, Scott Williams also 1 apiece.
140.
I mean, when you go back to those days for Gian van Veen, when he was studying as well as trying to develop his game, I think it was very important for him to have a backup option, because it wasn't that many years ago he was really struggling with arthritis, wasn't he? Yeah. He had a very poor Q school, a very poor start to the Challenge Tour season. But by the end of the season, he became a regular winner.
Game shot.
Really, he's going to have to find his best to be a winner here. Danny Noppert making 0 mistakes.
96.
Yeah, and again, it's super consistent stuff, isn't it? From Danny Noppert, just what you'd expect from him.
140.
Tough player to beat, isn't he?
94.
Yeah, incredibly difficult, but you look at the players left in this Players' Championship event, and the only one who's won on the floor so far in 2025 is Gian van Veen.
140.
So if he's eliminated at this stage, it is a real day of opportunity. We mentioned it at the start, didn't we?
180.
Mike De Decker's been a player of interest today, hasn't he? He's got through to the quarterfinal stage, taking on Dave Chisnell, who won a piece. My pre-tournament prediction: Scott Williams 2-1 up on Dom Taylor.
And if you're dropping your prediction in, I'll drop mine. Ross Smith was mine. He's 2-1 up on Christopher Tyskie. Got a little battle of our own going on, haven't we? As Danny Noppert thought that one was in. Just has to steady himself again. You just knew there are some players who might be a little unsettled when they start walking, thinking that second dart is in. You just know Danny Noppert's not going to let it impact him.
Look at those numbers, though. What a game. What a performance. 108 from Danny Noppert, and that just continues to climb. What about him being ever reliable on those sort of high 90s? He's gone, well, I'll raise you another 11 points then if you think 97's reliable. Check this out.
Yeah, it's like he took offence from that compliment.
91.
Maybe someone who should take a bit of offence, because when we come into events like this and you have those conversations, whether it's here in the room or on social media, and you look at the sort of predictions that people put, I can't remember seeing anyone say Danny Noppert today, when realistically
68.
He should be one of the people that come top of the list.
$43.
Could be about to take full control of this one. 6 starts guaranteed here from the 202. He's making a very good dent in it. And Veen looking away there as if to say, what is going on here? He's hitting me with everything.
Well, it's a tough school, isn't it, this? Because Gian van Veen averaging around 104. And he's had one leg where he's had a dart at double. Is he going to get one in this leg?
Game shot.
Just got to try and ride the storm. Just got to try and cling in, because he'll be thinking that at some point that average has just got to dip a little bit. There'll be an opportunity somewhere. The worst thing is if Danny Noppert so close to the finishing line that you can't reel him back.
180.
Well, and the other problem is, what if it doesn't dip? Because at the moment, Danny Noppert is showing no signs at all
58.
that his level is going to drop. Gian van Veen has done nothing wrong in this match, and he's still not getting opportunities.
Sometimes that just happens. Sometimes you just get beat.
57.
And you just shake the opponent's hand and you live to fight another day. This is the difference between losing and getting beat, isn't it? Sometimes you feel like you lose something when you've been in the game, you've missed opportunities. This is just a good old-fashioned getting beaten.
Yeah, and if you are Gian van Veen, I guess the one positive that you can cling on to right now if you do go out,
180.
well, at least he's going to be my partner next month and he won't be doing this to me.
What an ally to have.
140.
So it'll be dangerous, this bet, in the World Cup. Just feel like everything's going to go here. Double 11 for Danny Noppert. Van Veen feels the same. The arms thrown out to the side. He thinks he's seen this already.
62.
But that's not how it went in his mind. An opportunity. And these are the sort of opportunities you're going to get when you're playing someone who's playing as well as Danny Noppert is.
Yeah.
38.
Unfortunately, they're the opportunities that need to go.
Game shot.
Because he isn't going to give you any more chances, is he, Danny Noppert, in this mean mood that he's in? We talked about Mike de Decker and the form that he's shown over the course of today. Well, it might be about to come to a crushing end
80.
because Dave Chisnell is 4-1 up, averaging 108 against him. What a day Chizzy is having. I think we're all going a bit
93.
dizzy with Chizzy today, aren't we? A 9-darter already. Scott Williams and Dom Taylor battling it out. Williams 3-2 up. Ross Smith averaging
97.
in excess of 106, 3-2 up on Christoph Ratajski. But the pick of the performances so far in the
96.
quarterfinals is what you are witnessing right here on Streaming Board 2 from Danny Noppert.
I'm just imagining a world where Gian van Veen's friends who are with him today have gone to the toilet. They come out and
180.
Van Veen's walking out of the streaming booth. I said, how'd you get on? He goes, well, I averaged 101. I was 100% on my doubles. And they went, oh, well done.
100.
No, I lost 6-1.
Yeah.
Because that could be a reality here.
Not going to get a dart at double 12 there, so just takes a little glance at the
128.
scoreboard. Knows he'll be returning for double 8 to complete what has been
59.
a next to perfect performance from Danny Noppert.
No
But
score.
3 match darts have come and gone.
The first mistake he's made,
Yeah.
isn't it, Danny Noppert? But it's in a situation where you
96.
feel he was allowed to. He earned the right to have that miss, and now a chance to get the job done.
He can't afford too many more errors. 5 match darts gone,
Yeah, so
and he gets it
match,
at the 6th
Danny
time
Noppert.
of asking. Such a sensational performance from Danny Noppert. These two will be partnering up for the World Cup of Darts in Frankfurt next month. But it is Danny Noppert who progresses to the semi-final of Players' Championship 15. The average did dip a little bit with those 5 match dart misses, but it's still a mightily impressive display from the Freeze, who was 37%, and look what he limited his opponent Gian van Veen to just 1 dart at double. Didn't do a great deal wrong, but Gian van Veen is on his way home. Danny Noppert through to the semis.